Welcome back, everyone, to the Eli Loew 2040 presidential campaign vlog. And today, I just wanted to start off, as usual, by thanking sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, Say and K-Bay for being my first two patrons. So thank you for the faith and the belief in me to achieve great things, if at the very least $1 a month worth of great things. So always grateful. And today, actually, in kind of a similar vein, I did want to talk about small units of money, which is this, the humble 1-cent coin. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is I heard recently that it costs the US government more to produce and mint a penny than it's actually worth, right? It costs usually 1.7 or 1.8 cents for every cent we make, which makes no sense, right? Now, there are a couple arguments that say it's kind of worth keeping the penny. There's a small fear of inflation, and also the fact that you never use a penny once, right? So you spend basically 2 cents per cent, but the 1 cent gets used many times. And so over the course of its life, pennies last a long time, it can be used 10 or 20 times. But the reality is, because pennies are so worthless, no one uses them. And in fact, interesting little fact, if you bend down to pick up a penny, you're earning less than minimum wage for the amount of time it takes you to pick up the penny. And if you did that for a full hour, you'd make less than the current federal minimum wage. So genuinely useless. So why don't we stop minting them? And the answer is very typical of the US government, or governments in general. And so I want to talk about it because it's a really good kind of epitome of government inefficiency. So if you talk to anyone and you explain to them the facts, you explain how much it costs to make a penny and about the raw materials in the penny costing more than the penny before 1982, and eventually the raw materials currently in the penny will be worth more than a penny, especially with inflation and the way raw material values are going up. Most people agree it makes sense, but no one cares. No one's passionate about it. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's not a passionate issue that you're going to go out and lobby your congressman or call them up. And so what ends up happening is it just gets lost in the noise. So if you're a senator, if you're a congressman, there's literally 1,000 people yelling at you all the time. They all want something. And so you tend to listen to the loudest voices, right? And this is kind of how democracy works, and this is kind of how lobbying works. So the loudest voices talking about pennies is the zinc and copper companies, specifically the company that makes the molds for the US Mint, are the ones speaking the loudest. So I don't think there's anything nefarious going on. I just think it's a kind of funny example of just human nature and the way people work. I don't think the lobby guys are even genuinely trying to be dishonest. I think they genuinely think that we should keep pennies and nickels and we shouldn't make drastic change. So it's just kind of interesting. So next time you see a penny, have a think about that. I know in the EU, they're phasing out their copper coins, and it also brings up an interesting thing about paper dollars, which get ripped and ruined. And so that's also why in Europe they have metal euro dollars, or euro coins, which is something that, also might be a way to make our monetary system more efficient. At the end of the day, it's small change compared to the size of the US government, but it's just a good example of something we could be doing better. So that's my vlog thought for this week, and I'll post again next week. Have a good night.